BBC News at midday. The head of the police operation at the coronation has denied being under any political pressure to stop anti-monarchy protesters. Addressing a committee of MPs about the arrest of 8 members of the campaign group Republic, Assistant Commissioner Matt Twist said the only pressure he felt was to do a good job at a once-in-a-lifetime event with hundreds of thousands of people on the streets of central London. He said that in the context of the event, the arrests had been lawful, but acknowledged that it was difficult to get the balance right between the rights of the protesters and those who would be affected. He was asked why the police had apologised.
We don't want to get into the sort of dancing on pinheads about will you apologise, won't you? I believe that the arrest was lawful, but of course, once we've conducted further investigation and inquiries and we found out more details of the engagement that had taken place and we've looked at all of the circumstances taken together, it's quite a human thing to do. Say, yeah, we regret that they missed their opportunity to protest, but what was also very clear is that many hundreds didn't miss that opportunity and were continued on with that protest.
The head of Republic, Graham Smith, told the same committee that a lot of the police claims had been untrue. The Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, has said the government's plans to overhaul the private rental sector in England could have come more quickly, but he believes the proposals are a step in the right direction. The changes will stop tenants from being evicted without justification, while the legislation will make it easier for landlords to repossess properties from antisocial occupants. The government said the plan had been drawn up with fairness at its heart. The World Meteorological Organization believes a global average temperature of more than 1.5 Celsius above pre-industrial levels is likely to be recorded over the next 5 years. The agency says it's sounding the alarm on higher temperatures. Here's our environment correspondent, Matt McGrath.
When world leaders signed the Paris Agreement in 2015, they promised to do their best to keep the rise in global temperatures under 1.5 Celsius this century to avoid the most damaging impacts. In 2020, researchers said the chances of breaking this limit were under 20%. They now say it's 66%, meaning it's more likely than not. Two things are changing the odds. Carbon emissions continue to rise, and scientists believe we'll see an El Niño weather event this summer, pushing extra heat up from the ocean into the atmosphere. Researchers say that if the threshold is passed, it will likely be a temporary event.
5 people have died and others are missing after floods in northern Italy caused by 14 rivers bursting their banks. About 5,000 people have been evacuated in the Emilia-Romagna region where the Formula One Italian Grand Prix is scheduled to take place this weekend. The former French President Nicolas Sarkozy has lost an appeal against a conviction for corruption and influence peddling. The sentence was 3 years in prison, 2 of which were suspended, and the other, Mr Sarkozy, was told he could serve at home with an electronic tag. His legal team says he'll appeal to a higher court. Our correspondent Hugh Schofield reports from Paris.
This is one of 3 legal cases in which the former president, now aged 68, is embroiled. He lost it 2 years ago, and now he's lost it again on appeal. The charge is that in 2013, after he'd left office, Mr Sarkozy and his lawyer promised favours to a senior judge if he would supply them with information regarding investigations into his financial affairs. Mr Sarkozy won't be serving his sentence anytime soon. He's launched a new appeal to the High Court. In the meantime, the 2 other election funding cases are moving forward.
Council officials say they're working to ensure that disruption is kept to a minimum around next week's Chelsea Flower Show after a strike was announced by traffic wardens. The 6-day walkout in a row about pay will begin on Monday. BBC News.